everybody, it's Sam here. Thank you for watching today. So I think this is my last Mother's Day project for this year's Mother's Day series. So I will link the full playlist here of all of the Mother's Day projects that I've got. And you can also check out my blog because they're all listed there as well. This is what's known as a Hexagon Tower Box. I've done the square tower box before and it was daffodils, and that was for a Mother's Day series I think a couple of years ago. So I'll link that individual tutorial up here. These have been around for quite a while, so I thought I'd give the hexagon shape a go. And I'm sure that Helen from Simply Made Crafts has a die set that will make this as well. So if you don't want to do all of the cutting, then there is die sets out there as well. But it's really sweet. I've used a beautiful paper pad on this one. Finished it off with a little flower on top. So you just take the lid off and you've already got some treats there. But when you open this up, it reveals 5 more trays of the same sweets. Of course, you don't have to have the same sweets there, but it all stands up really nicely. You can display the little lid there as well with it. If you want to personalise this, you can add a little, gift tag. You could have a space inside to write something if you want, but it's going to work for many occasions. Christmas, birthdays. You could have, little party gifts like favours, and then the whole thing just wraps together. You could also have it as a little storage thing on your desk. Maybe put some like stationery pieces in there if you want. And then make sure I've got my lid the right way. That all slides back on. And yeah, you've got a lovely little gift. This is going into a hamper, so it's that perfect kind of hamper shape just to sit in with all of the other treats. But like I said, I think these would look quite nice as table favours as well. So pretty straightforward to make, so let's get started. So I've combined 2 paper pads here. This one is a new, well, it's new for me. It's the Spring Garden Birds, and I've used this one here, and that's on the front. And then I'm going to take one of the toppers as well. And then for the inside, this here, which I'll talk you through in a moment, I've used the background ones from here, so the gingham and the polka dot, and that's the Dovecraft Sweet Moments. This one's about 2-3 years old, but there's still some people selling it. Really sweet sets, and some, they do work quite nicely together. So first of all, for the main case that wraps around, or the wrap, it's a piece of 10.5 by 8. Along the 10.5 side, you want to score every 1.5 inch. So 1.5, 3, 4.5, 6, 7.5, and 9. Okay. Then you want to cut yourself 2, 4, 6, 7, so 14 pieces of 1.25 by 7 3/4. So I've got this pattern all on the back, because this is going to, once you fold and burnish, so you can just, fold them all up, one will overlap the other. So we've got our 6 sides there. So that's everything you'll see on the outside. And then when you open it, the boxes stick to these middle 5. And then I've just got more of that pattern on the inside, because I thought it just kind of frames it all. So stick those all down. I've used my Collall clear construction glue to stick everything down, so this is a nice strong piece now to hold all those boxes. So get all that done. Then for each of the trays, you're going to want to cut yourself 5 pieces of 3 by 9.5. Along the 9.5 side, you're going to score at 1.5, 3, 4.5, 6, 7.5, and 9. And then along the 3-inch side, you're going to score at 1.5. Okay, I'll give you the sizes for those in a moment. So you want to fold and burnish all of those score lines. Okay, with the 1/2 inch tab on the right hand side, you're going to cut up each score line just to the first score line. And then this end piece, just cut that away completely. And then just cut a little wedge off of the corners of this piece, because that's the tab, but leave all the rest. You don't need to take any wedges or anything off of those like I normally would do. And I'm going to use my quick grab glue and just cover the tab there. Fold that side over and then bring that over until it all lines up. Like so, and then I like to fold back just so you can burnish that a bit better. Okay, next I'm going to use the construction glue because I've got a bit more wiggle time with it, and it dries obviously very hard. You basically want to start off with, so I'll start with these two opposite pieces. I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue in there and then just let that sit over the top. If it pops open, don't worry at this point, because you're going to, you know, we'll apply pressure to it all in a minute, but just get the glue under there. Then bring down another opposite pair, but at the same time try and put a little bit of glue just kind of across the top there for that one to kind of sit on. Bit of glue in that one, and you want to line them up. If you get them completely straight there, running straight with each other, then you're going to get your shape that you need. And then again, the last two, so just pop a bit of glue there so that one can attach, and then a bit of glue there. I mean, you can cover all of that now as well if you want. You can do that on, once you start putting it together, you'll be able to see where you can put more glue if you need to, but just make sure that that all lines up, and you see you just naturally get the shape that you need, like so. And then if you flip it over, you can move this all around a bit more, so I could probably do with shifting those across a bit. Okay, so I'm happy with that one, and you just want to repeat that now. So you've got 5. So I've already done these ones here. You'll see I've decorated all the sides. So for that, these pieces are all 1 1/4 squared. Now, because I've used this gingham stripe here, I've popped a gingham on the join. So if you look inside, you will have a join. So there's mine there. And then that's the one I'm going to stick onto the back here. But also on this side, I've left it blank, just so it makes it a bit easier. But I just liked that little detail. You don't have to do that at all. So in total, you'll want 11 pieces, because you only have 5 on the outside and then 6 on the inside. So I've just taken the same bird print pattern on the outside, and then I've used that other paper pad with the polka dot and the gingham for the inside. So I'm going to stick all these squares down first, and then I'll show you how you can cut that piece there to decorate the base. Okay, so that's all stuck down, and then to make the piece for inside, I've just drawn around it and then just cut it down smaller. So if you just bring up this one of the edges right up to the edge of the paper, and then the point right to the edge there, and literally just draw around, and you'll get, when you cut it, you're going to cut smaller so it will fit inside like so. And then I'm just going to cut this all down, and then I'm going to cut about 1/8 of an inch in from the pencil line. So you're cutting quite a bit away, because obviously you want it now to be that layer inside. So, and I do it for each one because you might have stuck each one, although they look like they're all the same shape, one could be slightly more, you know, to one side than say the other one. So, and then you should just be able to drop that in like so. So it just tidies up the bottom there. Okay, so once you've got all your trays, you're going to stick each one on each of these panels until you get to the top. So you want to start with the bottom one first. So I'm going to add my glue across there, and then I'm going to bring it down. You're sticking it on the second panel in, but bring up this side around and kind of butt it, you know, into this one, into that fold, and make sure it's completely flush with the bottom. So once you've got that one down and it's secure, take another one, add the glue, like so, and then this time roll that around onto the second panel, and then stick this bit where you've added the glue onto the second panel, and it will sit perfectly on top of this one. And again, just start to wrap those both around and just butt that right up. By the time we get to the top, these will all sit within this And once you're happy that that's in place, you can just add a bit more pressure there. But the idea is that this one becomes the lid for the one below. Okay, and then you can see when it's open, you get to see inside all of them. Okay, and then for this one, bring around these two. So I'm now sticking this one on this one, which is actually the 4th panel in. Just bring that up and you'll see it will all start to sit in there quite nicely. And the more you add it, this starts to completely almost cover it. And then the last one. It's going to go on the 6th panel. So you should always have an empty panel either side with no tray stuck to it. This one's actually a little bit higher because I want it to cover the top of that matte layer of paper. So I could have probably going to bring that one up a little bit there actually. Probably pull them all up just a little bit. You want them to all just make sure they've all got, clearance from each other. Okay, so you should now have something like that. Just make sure, from the top to the bottom, they all wrap and they've all got room. And then it doesn't matter which one you kind of have overlapping. And then that is going to go round to like the back. Okay, so for the lid, it's exactly the same really as how we made the tray. It's just this piece is a little bit longer. So this is a piece of 9 3/4 by 3. Along that 9 3/4 side, you're going to score at 1 3/4, 3 1/4, 4 3/4, 6 1/4, 7 3/4, and 9 1/4. And along that 3-inch side, just score at 1 1/2. Fold and burnish all of the score lines, and then with the 1/2-inch tab on the right hand side, again cut up all of these. So you'll have this end section will be slightly bigger. Again, remove that small piece from the corner and then just take a wedge like so. And I'm going to add some glue onto the tab, and now you want to wrap that around so it's nice and tight. This now is going to go on the bottom and wrap around. You don't need to worry so much about these bits being able to fold over the top for the minute. Just focus on keeping this nice and tight, and then it will fold and it will line up with that one there. So now I can just take that off, and then I wouldn't lie it flat because I can see there it doesn't quite want to go flat because it's expanded itself slightly. So just don't burnish it flat, just leave it as it is because that's ready now to wrap around. So I'm going to pop it back on because I actually think it's going to be easier to fold in all of the sides. So let's just, there we go, like so. Yeah, I think it's going to be easier now to stick all these down. So decide, so that's going to be the front. Or where's my two birds? Well, if I have that right at the back, actually, I mean, I'm going to have the topper on here, so you're not really going to see it, so I'm not too worried. So I'm just going to go with these ones, and we're going to cut a piece to decorate the top in the same way that we did before. So I'm just going to use the quick grab glue here, but you can see there they all line up. And then again, add a little glue there. And then finish with that one there. Now that one is obviously, this piece is bigger because of the way that we finished the lid, but it should all line up with itself. I'm just going to slide that off, and then I can just turn it up this way, just stick that all down. At least you know that that's obviously definitely going to fit. And then we can draw around that and decorate the top. I'm only going to, well, I'm going to use this same piece here, I think. The green would have been nice, but I don't actually think I've got any green left. Or I might actually use the exact same colour. Yeah, I think I might do that. Now this piece you want to be pretty much the same size. You'll trim this on the pencil line. So I'm just going to make sure the top side's right up to the edge there, and then draw around those. And I think I'm going to cut this with my scissors, do this freehand, because I want to make sure it's going to stick on that one, so I've got this right angle. So I'm just going to cut slightly in on the pencil mark, but not too much, because then you could do a pattern matte layer on top if you wanted to. And there we go, you can see once that's all stuck down, that fits on there perfectly. So I'm going to use the construction glue now. Stick that down. And if you've got anything overhanging that you don't like, use your scissors and go around and just trim it off. You could also put some decorative trim on here, pom-pom trim, lace, anything like that if you want to tidy it up. But I think I quite like just having it plain, and then I might just put one flower in the centre on the top there. So just stick that back over like so. Yes, I think I'm just going to look at maybe a flower that I've got, and then the toppers, you get 2 topper sheets in here. I've got these 2 here. I think I like this one. I'm going to cut this one out. So I really like those there, but I think because they're quite flimsy, I might pop them onto the pink card and then cut a pink border around. So that's going to add strength, but also I think make it pop a little bit more against that. And then I'm going to find a pretty flower die to go on the top there. So I had some of these spare from when I made the sunflower card, and I was showing people how you can turn, you know, any flower into a different looking flower. So this is the same sunflower, but because I've lifted up the edges, it just creates something a little different. So I thought these actually go really well because it's got like pops of this kind of orange yellow, so it all matches. So to get this effect, so that's the sunflower. I already inked this. Like I said, I've had these for a while from that other card, and then just sit a ruler or something in the middle of each petal and just bend it up around like so. Just do that on each one like so. To do that on 2 of them, I'm just going to pop some glue in the middle there, and then you just want to offset each one. I mean, it still has that sunflower look to it, but it just gives it a lovely 3D effect there. Now, I was going to put a white layer, but then I thought, no, actually I'm not, because there's, you know, there's so much white in the paper there. I think it's quite nice just to have this on the top. So I'm just going to stick that one right in the middle. And then I've got some of these ones here that I just had, again, just laying around. I keep everything. I always tend to die cut more than I need when I make a card or a 3D project, and then just keep them. But they look quite pretty, just kind of poking out the sides there. These sunflower dies are from the Paper Craft Society. It's kit number 22, but it's sold out, so this one is not available anymore. But you can do this effect with any flower dies that you might have. So I'm just going to add these ones, and I'm going to pop a little nice gemstone in the middle of the flower there as well. And there's the finished project. So I just added a lovely little faceted gemstone there. See all that topper. I've popped it up on some foam, and I like it backed with the pink, just I think helps it pop a bit more. You could obviously cover these. I was thinking about doing the same colour pink but embossing, so you might see that in the photos, but it definitely, I think that just that plain colour does break up you know, from the pattern there. Slides off nice and easily. And then inside I've already added the sweets, so I've got 3 more left to pop in the top there, which fit perfectly, and it all stands up, so you know it can be enjoyed. And you've got your little lid there as well. You could have a little, you know, area to write something there if you wanted to as well. And then the whole thing just slides and wraps up. And then I've got to keep it that way, like so. And it's nice and snug because of the way that we attached it. So that's my Hexagon Tower Box. I hope you like this version. I think it's going to work perfectly for a hamper just because of the, obviously the shape of it and stuff. I think this might be the last thing to add. So this could be the last project for Mother's Day, thinking about it. So yeah, I think this is going to be my last Mother's Day project, because I'm just looking behind me and it's all Easter stuff now. So I hope you've enjoyed the series. I love doing these themed series, and I've been doing them for, this is the 5th year now, so there's heaps of inspiration. And like with most of the projects, change this up, change it with your Christmas papers or birthday papers, and it's going to work for other occasions as well. So this product will be linked in the description box below. I will link up the other kind of tower ones that I've done and another project if you want to watch that next. And if you've enjoyed today and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and then hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified and you won't miss any future tutorials. Take care, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.